Hello everyone, this is Terry Blauvelt with the Missouri State Library, and this is a short tutorial on how to use the Bibliostat Collect program by Baker and Taylor to fill out the Public Library Survey for fiscal year 2014 in the state of Missouri. The URL for this website is collect.b2l.com. It does not have a www. You can actually just enter it into your browser as collect.b2l.com and get to this screen. You'll notice that in the center of the screen is a login information area, and this is where you're going to put your username and password that I will email out to you. On the right hand side, you do notice that Internet Explorer is not recommended to use. If you do have Firefox or Google Chrome or something like that to use, those are the preferred browser to use for implementing this software. To show you how this actually works, I'm going to go through the testing module here that shows the interior of the program from my point of view, which yours is going to be mostly similar from what mine looks like here, but you can't access it until it's actually unlocked, which will happen before I send out the emails and passwords. Once you actually log into the program, your library name is going to appear at the top up here where this says Missouri Test Library. And over here where it says Continue Survey, as long as you've not started on the survey, that's going to have a button that says Start Survey. Since I've already been into this several times, mine says Continue Survey, and yours will likewise once you actually go in and look at it one time. You do need to make sure that you're on the current year survey, which is 2014. So you'll just click on this button. It's going to take you into the actual survey. When you go into the survey, it's going to go to the point that you were in there last. Since I've already been in here once, it's going to take me to the point that I was last in there. That's called bookmarking, and it holds the place that you were working on in the event that you log out of the system. Otherwise, it's going to start you at the current administrative information, which is the very first page. And if you notice here, over here on the left-hand side, you have the survey navigation, and each one of these is representative of a section within the survey. You can click on the single link ones like the current administrative information, and it will take you to that page. Upon arriving at this page, you see the list of questions and you see the blank areas where you enter your response. You'll notice that some of the questions are darker than others, and then some of them have these underlined lines over here underneath the numbers. The darker colored questions are going to be questions that are submitted to the Institute of Museum and Library Services for the national survey that's completed several years after we actually submit our data to them. The numbers, when you look at them, have an underlined section underneath them. If you click on those, it's going to bring up the dialog box that is the help or definition for that particular question. So when you click on that, it's going to pull up this explanation, and if you have a question about what the question is asking, you can first check this, and if you don't come up with an answer, then you need to email me. My name's going to be up here on the very, very top. And the reason my email is there is because these boxes that are grayed out that you see over here you can no longer enter information on this for your library. This is going to come pre-populated so that you don't actually have to enter in the information. Some of the blanks are also going to be, the white blanks are going to have pre-populated data in them as well. Since this is my test library here, it doesn't show anything, but for the most part, all of these in the current administrative information, the legal service area, and the public service outlets are going to come pre-populated to ease the amount of time that it takes to fill out the survey on your end. If you have a question about changing any of these, my email is there. Please get in contact with me. As far as the white blanked informations, if it's going to put the pre-populated data there, you can actually go in and change that on your own. The data that we put into the gray and the white boxes for the pre-populated purposes comes from the fiscal year 2013 information, and this data should be checked before you submit the survey, and if you have any questions, again, use my email that's there. For comparative purposes, you can look at what you submitted last year by clicking this Show Last Year Answers button here at the very, very top on the right-hand side. And once you click on that, for any of the answers that you submitted last year, it's going to put them there. And again, this is the test library, so it doesn't have any data in it. It's just for what I look at to actually design the survey. So normally they're going to appear where this OT is right here. You're going to have answers for each one of these down here that was filled in for the prior year. And if you click on it, it does go back to hiding the answers. To go forward and back in the survey, you can use the next, and once you click on that, then it goes to the next page. And you have the option of using back from all the other pages, but since it was on the first page, you can only go one direction with the survey. We do have a list of frequently asked questions within the survey, and you can assess those by clicking on the Frequent Questions tab at the very, very top. Once you click on that, it does give you a large list of questions. And it does have Bibliostat support's phone number there, but if it's question related, you should probably talk to me first. My information is in several different other places within the survey to include the instructions area. And at the very top of that, under the 2014 statistical report heading there, it does have my email and a 1-800 number to the state library. Within this section, you've got not only guidelines on how to report, but if you scroll down towards the bottom, it does have definitions for each one of the questions. And these definitions are going to be the same as the ones that are in the underlined number within the survey itself. So if you click on the number within the survey, it's actually going to pull up these definitions. If you scroll back up to the top, you can actually print out the definitions if you need a copy of that by clicking on either one of these at the very, very top. You can actually print out the whole survey or just the instructions itself. Once you've completed the survey, you'll go to the status section, which is the third link over on the bar at the top under the name of your library. By clicking on it, you go to that page and you get on the first tab the edit checks. This is going to be the first step to submitting your survey, and this is the step where you go through and you verify that the answers that edit checks are generated by the system by comparing one year to the prior year. So when you put an answer in there and it generates an edit check, it doesn't like the variance from the prior year. It's also used to double check your answer to make sure that you've put down the answer that you want to put in there. In the event that you didn't answer the question last year because you didn't have the data or something like that, it will create an edit check to make sure that you've got the current year's data correct. The generated edit checks will show you where to answer the question or explain your answer to clarify to me what the difference is in the variation. For purposes of this first question, 1.20, it tells us that we need to explain the answer by using a federal note. And in this section over here, the federal tab has already been selected, so you just merely type in your answer there. It's actually because I don't have an answer in there right now is why it's generating this response. But once you've gone through all the answers and they've turned green, which means that they've accepted your answer, or at least you've annotated the data that you provided, then you'll be able to go to the next section, which is the unanswered questions, which will click on that tab, and because I've not answered any of the questions, it's going to have all of my questions in there. You actually need to go through and make sure you've got an answer in each one of the blanks in order to proceed with submitting the survey. Once you have all of the questions answered, then you can go on to the flagged questions. But in the event that you don't answer these, I will be contacting you for the answer, so it's just faster and easier if you do these correctly the first time. Click on the flag question tags. That's going to be the ones that you actually flagged. This is not going to be a system generated. If you go through and select within the survey, like if you go here and you click on this flag, it's going to flag the question. So when you go back to the status section and go to the flagged questions, it should show up. In this instance it has not, but normally it will. Once you've gone through and cleared out all of those, it wants you to double check, and I recommend double checking, triple checking, because if you've missed something, I'll have to contact you to gain this information, and it just saves us both a lot of time. But once you're satisfied with the responses that you've put in there, all the edit checks, unanswered questions, and flag questions have been submitted, then you'll click the submit survey to actually send the survey to me. Once you submit the survey and it sends it to me for my review, you can no longer enter information into it unless I have it unlocked for you to redo. The only time that I will do something like this is if you've missed a lot of questions that it's going to take me a lot of time to collect the data for. Please, again, double, triple check to make sure that you've got everything done before you hit the submit survey button. Once you have submitted the survey, then you would go to the printing tab, which is again at the top under your library name. This gives you the option to print out the survey that you just completed. I recommend doing it with current year's data. That way you've got a response of what you actually put into each question, and print it out either in the PDF or HTML form, whatever your preference is, and keep that copy for your records. Should you have any questions, feel free to call or email me at the number or email address provided on the next screen. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and good luck on filling out your public library survey for fiscal year 2014.